Hi everyone, my name is John Sullivan and I'm a cybersecurity specialist for IBM Data Protection. I work with customers to help them solve their security and compliance needs. Today I will be covering IBM's Guardium Data Protection and their advanced analytics components. I'll be walking you through our investigation dashboards, our risk spotter, and our active threat analytics. So a little bit background on the investigation dashboard. This has been in the product for a little while. There's been new capabilities added in the 11.1 I wanted to walk through with you. But basically what it does is it provides you an interactive user interface for you to be able to assess and investigate large volumes of data and filter out key users and sources and tables that might be of interest, so you can quickly see activity that is suspicious, and then as well as other activity by those same users or on those same systems. The second component we'll be talking about is our risk spotter. So this is a dynamically policy that runs once a day, and it assesses different threat analytics and vulnerabilities and risk factors with an intelligent algorithm to complement your existing data protection policies. So a lot of times our customers are running policies that have static groups and a set of things. The risk spotter is to help complement that, to see new activity or outliers that are suspicious that you might want to make sure those things are being monitored or blocked or assessed and reviewed in some fashion. And the risk spotter is an excellent has an excellent set of tools to help you get that visibility into that. And then the last area we'll be covering is our active threat analytics. So this is another tool that allows us to look at suspicious activity, cross-site scripting, different threat vectors, and we continue to invest and add things in this area. So that you can kind of analyze and view different cases that could be incidents that need to be investigated, as well as views on your users and your databases. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with our investigation dashboard, and there's different ways that you can launch this. So I'm off our home page, the login page, and you can launch the investigation dashboard through the home page. You can also get to it off the menu. So we have our data, which is our structured database activity, and our file activity. And then if we're doing something for later on for the risk spotter and the threat, those are in our protect area. But I'll be launching them off the main menu or through our quick start here. So another way to launch the quick start or the active threat is to pull down and pick it whether you want the databases or the files. We're going to look at the files first. So here we have a set of systems that we've configured. So we have a Linux, Unix, Windows system. We have a network attached storage and SharePoint. And so I'm looking at data from the last week. So you can see, I've got roughly, if I go down here, roughly 351 events, right? So not really too many, but you can see there's a lot of information that it shows us in terms of the users that have been accessing the different systems. So I have IPs here, but one is my network attached storage system, one is my Linux box, and then the third is a SharePoint system. And you can see these different users have been accessing and doing operations on it. Now at the very bottom of the quick start or the investigation dashboard is a set of different types of reports that we have. For a lot of these we have out of the box as well, but this has them all together so you can look. So you can see here that we have the user activity of which user, which file they might have been looking at. You can see I've selected one that has created a filter at the top here that we can look at, and it filters down all the different the views that we had above. I'm just gonna unclick that. But we also have errors that may have been done, violations as well for all the users, and then the entitlement. So this is scanning for discovery of files as well as doing deep level classification as well. So we have GDPR and other attributes there. And that's useful if you're looking to see what a user may have accessed and which might have been sensitive data. So in our case, we're going to pick one of these users. We'll pick Sully here, and we can see that when I click on this, our number of incidents or reports has gone down, and maybe I pick, you know, one of these things like the Social Security number, right? I mean, so here I can see, when that user selected the Social Security number. So very quickly I was able to get, very high level, a lot of data down to something very quick and easy. Next, what I want to do is I just want to launch the investigation dashboard for another scenario where we're looking at a large volume of information that's coming from our database system. So we have a set of test scripts and penetration tests and other things that are running that has a lot more volume and data. So you can see here, down here we've got roughly 500,000 events that are coming in. And let's say in this case what I have is I've got, I want to look at maybe this person, bad guy, right? That's a pretty obvious one to look at. And I can see that, this is filtering down that data. Now in our 11.1 release, we have a new type of report that's called a sand key chart. That's pretty useful. And it allows you to have different views that you can kind of switch on and pivot on. So I'm going to pick this one here where we're looking at that track activity on that user over that hour. So you can see here I've got, I can hover over, these different items to see what time, that user did something. If I come down here, let's say I'm interested in that user, what they might have done for a grant operation. So very quickly I can see here the different, grants that were done. And I can also then export that out into a PDF or a CSV and send to someone to do investigation. So that's it for a very high level on the investigation dashboard. Next, I want to show you the risk spotter. So what the risk spotter provides is it runs once a day and it looks at your top risky users, and from there you can interact and add users to a watch list, as we call it, or add them to a trusted list. It provides the historical information. You can see here the trend of the different activity that was done. If I hover here, I get a view of the number of risky users on a scale of 1 to 10. I've got 5 users between 3 and 6. I've got 3 that are really low risk. I've got 11 that are fairly high. Likewise, I can change the date and how far back I want to go. Now, if I select the little dot here, this will show me based on those users individually. This is a 5.3 out of 10, and this is why. He has a lot of violations. If I pick another user, let's say I pick bad guy, I can see he's a 6.0, and if I select on violations, that'll launch me into our quick start or investigation dashboard, and that'll very quickly show me high level information, visibility, and then also the details. So I can slip through and look at this case the different violations that were done, maybe the activity that was done on that system, were there any vulnerabilities on that database at the time he was running. Now the other thing I can do is for these different users, I can perform different actions on them. So I can look at this user, and I could say I want to add this user now to the watch list. I think he's a little bit suspicious. Okay, and then also what I can do is I can create a ticket. So I can do something where within ServiceNow, I've configured the ability to connect to ServiceNow and open a ticket that you can now see. We have it's new. If I click on this link here, it'll take me out to ServiceNow, and I can see the activity that's in someone's queue. So if you have different ways to manage that incident, you can have it be local all within Guardium, or you can leverage ServiceNow to do that. Another pretty cool feature is the ability to send the report of the risky users for someone to review. And so here I'm just walking through the risky user report. I can send to multiple people, so I can email it, have it just be something that's reviewed in the Guardium system for someone to review, and then run it. And you can schedule this to run once a day, once a week. In this case, if I click on the view the last one that run, I can see all the different users, what their scores were. So there's a lot of information here. And then likewise, you can also have that user be required to review and sign off, which is kind of nice to have that record, at least if someone's done something with it or not. Okay. The other thing that's really cool about the risk spotter is you can quickly view and investigate all the risky users at once. So I can click on here, and this will take me to the investigation dashboard, and then it's only pulling in the risky users that that we've looked at, and you can then filter from there. Maybe you want to look at David and see what he's up to, right? So it's a lot of power there to quickly view something that would be risky. You can do that on a daily basis, or look at a range and pick and choose what you want to see. All right. Okay, so that is it for the other thing on the risk active risk spotter, as well as the advanced threat analytics, is it does have like little wizards here too that help you quickly set up and tells you what to do, which is kind of nice. There's a little wizard if you do want to turn it on to quickly get value with that. Now the last thing I wanted to show you is our advanced threat analytics, and so here you can see I'm pulling up. The different threats that we can look at. So we've got all these different threat vectors, we call them. So we have like account takeover, cross-site scripting, insider threat. So let's say I look at maybe like denial of service, and I can see here that I've got one item here. Oracle is the database that's being hit. We have a bad guy hitting it. We can see the reason why. There's a lot of highly suspicious activity. So I can select on this, and what I can do is I can now add this user to a group. I can open the case in the dashboard. I can create a ServiceNow ticket, or I can do like a full report of what's there as a PDF file and send that out. So it's kind of nice. I can see all this different information. I've got trending information as well that's been from March 8th till today, so you can see a lot of data and kind of the trend that's going on. And then this will get us to the risk spotter information. We can click on this and quickly get back to the risk spotter. So at this point we have 321 cases that are open, and I just filtered that down. If I click on the databases, this provides kind of like a pivot of the activity that's going on with the different databases that we're running. So I can hover over here and see which applications were accessing the database. I can click on view profile for this database, and I can see here that this database has been accessed on the weekend and off hours, which may not be a problem, but that might be something you want to have someone maybe take an action, create a ticket, or open a case against that, so someone can take a look at it. Okay. And then the last component here that we have configured is different badges. So it's similar to what we had in the risk spotter, but if I look at a different user, I look at his profile, it'll show me all the things that we have as risky. We see here this was during the normal working hours. There were some execute based commands versus select. So these are things that again you may want to add to a group or create a ticket around. So a lot of data. High volume data that you're quickly able to get some value, do some investigation, and collaborate with your team. So that's all I had to show you in terms of the investigation dashboard, which takes a lot of data and can quickly filter through for your investigation. Risk Spotter, which provides that complement to your existing policies. It dynamically assesses a risky user every day, and then the threat analytics. So that's something that provides you the ability to see advanced threats, cross-scripting, other types of things that you may not be looking for. And the last piece I want to cover is we do have these on YouTube, and if you do have the product, you can come in and you can hit the video, for example. You can look at the online documentation, and also up here we have pointers to our Security Learning Academy as well as our online help. So a lot of information, a lot of ways that you can learn. So I really want to thank you very much for your time, and I'm going to pass it back to the presenter. Thank you very much.